Hi, welcome back. And to those of you who might be new, welcome. I'm Dr. Patti. So whenever I'm at a party or a dinner or an event and people find out what I do, that I'm a naturopathic doctor and an acupuncturist, they always ask two questions. One is, ooh, does acupuncture hurt? We'll do a separate video on that if you're interested, but basically no. And two is, oh, I'm taking this supplement, or I read about this herb. Should I be taking this? Or I just started taking X, Y, and Z. Is that something that I should be taking? And obviously, you should be working with, your physician, a naturopathic doctor, to work on a customized, individualized, comprehensive treatment plan for you. And I also don't necessarily think that we should be taking the same thing over and over and over for the rest of our lives. But with that said, I do think that there are a handful of nutrients and maybe even herbs that I know I will be taking long term, only because I'm living in a modern world. I'm under stress. My body is a machine that's using up fuel, and I need to be replenishing my body with those nutrients, kind of the way that I'll always be eating for the rest of my life. I need to constantly be refueling. So today I wanted to talk about the top 5 supplements that I would recommend that most people take. And of course, these come with disclaimers and caveats and, depending on the individual and your health picture. But for the most part, I know that I will be taking these 5 nutrients, and I think they'll be helpful for most people, especially for maintenance and to help just your body run better. So number 1 would be some sort of omega-3. I choose to take a liquid fish oil, and that's because even though the liquid doesn't taste very good, it's definitely more potent. I can get more EPA and DHA, and those are the 2 constituents that you do want to look for when you're shopping for fish oil. Don't just look at 1,000 milligrams of fish oil. You actually want to look at the label and check to see how much EPA and how much DHA, and go for the highest amount that is best for you. And I'll list below the ones that I recommend. But I definitely take a liquid fish oil because it is just a little bit more concentrated and more potent. I'll throw it in a smoothie. I'll just take it straight and then maybe chase it with a little bit of water. I don't mind adding it to food, so I'll sometimes do that. But omega-3, some kind of omega-3 fatty acid. This is because omega-3s are going to help lower inflammation. It's going to help balance hormones. It's going to help with brain health, clarity, mental performance, memory. So it's going to do so many different things to help keep us balanced and healthy. And if you are plant-based, I would recommend either an algae oil or a perilla seed oil are the 2 that I usually recommend. Or you can do flaxseed oil as well. That's another option. So if you're not plant-based, I would recommend doing the fish oil over the plant-based oil, only because the plant-based oils are higher up on the chain. And so your body has to do more actions to convert that plant-based oil, like the algae, into the proper prostaglandins that have all those really wonderful effects. So before this turns into a whole video just about omega-3s, that's number 1. Moving on, I would recommend some form of B complex that includes B12, B6, B5. This is because it's going to help with energy. It's going to help with your adrenal function. If you are plant-based, you're probably needing a little bit more B12 because you're not getting that from animal proteins. And so supplementing can help and help with energy. Also, B vitamins are really used up by our bodies a lot, especially during times of stress. It's involved in a lot of different cellular pathways, and so we want to be replenishing that, especially when we're under a lot of stress, which who isn't, right? Number 3 would be a form of magnesium. I like, in a general sense, magnesium glycinate. I think it's well absorbed, but there are many, many different forms of magnesium. If you actually go to my Instagram, which is just Dr. Patti Kim, it's listed in the description box below. I actually have a highlight under my Instagram in the highlight section of all the different forms of magnesium and all the different things that they do. But in a general sense, I like magnesium glycinate, very bioavailable, well absorbed. And again, we talked about this in a previous video, but I think it's like somewhere like 300 different cellular pathways utilize magnesium and need magnesium as a cofactor to make these pathways go. So I don't know if you remember from like high school chemistry, but there's pathways or enzyme reactions that happen, and if you don't have a cofactor, the reaction happens, but just very, very slowly. But you add those cofactors in and everything runs a lot more quickly. So that's kind of what magnesium does. It enters into pathways in our cells, makes things run efficiently, and a little bit like the B vitamins, used up very quickly when we're under a lot of stress. And so I do recommend supplementing with that. And this is something that I take as well. It's great for calming the nervous system, helping with muscle spasms, helping with sleep in a very gentle way. So magnesium has a lot of different functions that can really, really help us. Number 4 would be a probiotic. And this is where things, I'm mentioning these top 5 supplements that I recommend, but keep in mind that everybody's an individual. So I recommend, in a general sense, probiotics. Our microbiome is truly the key to our health. It works on turning genes on and off. It works on our immune system. The little bacteria in our gut are responsible for so many more things than anyone could possibly realize. Studies show that actually our gut bacteria recognizes gut bacteria in other humans, and this is part of even what makes you attracted to another person. So gut bacteria is, it's just vast in terms of all the functions it has in our body. So probiotics is something that I would recommend. However, as an example, if you're dealing with SIBO and working with your doctor, you might be in a phase of your SIBO treatment where you don't want to be taking probiotics, or you want to be taking a specific carbohydrate specific type of a probiotic. So, I mentioned these 5 nutrients, but keep in mind that depending on your individual health journey and your treatment plan, that things may differ a little bit. The form of vitamins you take may differ. Kind of like the B complex that I mentioned, depending on your genetics, you might have a mutation and you might need a methyl B12, or you might need a hydroxy B12. So these are the kind of nuanced aspects of your treatment plan that you do want to work with your doctor with. So back to the list, number 4 was probiotics, and I take something called HMF, and it's a human strain, human microflora. So I'll list that below. And this is what I recommend to my patients as well. But often, like I said, we do mix things up. We alter the treatment plan depending on the patient. And then number 5 is vitamin D. Between us being inside all the time, our sunscreen use, and just, lack of being outdoors in general, we do tend to have a vitamin D deficiency in many of us. And the amount that you're going to take is going to depend on what your blood levels are. So I would definitely recommend working with a functional medicine doctor or your naturopathic doctor, because the levels that a naturopathic doctor is going to look for is definitely going to be different from your GP, PCP, MD is going to look for. So make sure you work with someone who's well versed in the functions of vitamin D and the amounts that you need. And I will say that vitamin D is hugely, hugely important in your immune system. It's an antiviral when taken in high doses. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to hyperpigmentation in the skin. So if you're looking to clear up your skin and you've got some hyperpigmentation, it can be due to your vitamin D. So vitamin D plays a lot of roles. And you may say like, oh, I get so much sun when I'm driving. Like here in Los Angeles, it's sunny all the time and we're in the car. But windows block vitamin D, but they let in the UV rays that damage our skin and cause wrinkles. So there's that. So those are the top 5 to summarize. I would say going not in any special order, but omega-3 or a fish oil or an algae oil, a B complex, a magnesium, a vitamin D, and a probiotic. So those are my recommendations for nutrients that many of us will need long term as the rest of our customized treatment plan kind of changes and adjusts according to our healing journey. So I hope you found this helpful. Please share it with anyone that you think would enjoy this. And thank you so much for watching as always. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it below. And I will also work on getting the exact nutrients that I take put in the description box below. So keep an eye out for that. And I will see you back soon. Bye.